Welcome back, Fun Fam. And if you're brand new to the channel, welcome in to follow the Bradley's Fun. This is the Daily Dish with me, your host, yours truly, Ron E. Bradley. And I hope that wherever you are out there, you are having a phenomenal day. Morning, afternoon, evening, middle of the night, could be, I don't know, what, between dinner and supper time. I don't even, how does that work? I have no idea. But I hope whatever time you're watching, that it's phenomenal for you. Speaking of the day, as of the recording of this, today is the 16th day of the month of April in the year 2025. Anno Domini. Yes, I still use AD, the common era. That's a common error, in my opinion. Hopefully, I'm coming through bright and clear. I have changed cameras, and basically, I'm trying to have a higher quality picture, higher quality stream. Hopefully, you guys can hear me okay. Let me check. Yeah. So, and I have put out an invite on our Pro Back channel if anybody happens to catch it and they have seen Daredevil and want to join in the conversation. They can. I know the interest on Marvel's Daredevil has. By the way, if you're coming in watching the replay of this, you should please know, because I've had comments on the replay where people don't understand how I do the show. Where there's I'm 13 minutes in and there's no content yet. Yeah, because I am talking with my chat. I'm talking with you. I'm talking with the live audience. So if you're watching this on the replay, I'm talking with the live audience on chat right now. And comment below, replay gang. You can fast forward to the content, or you can also check out Fedora Finds. I can't remember the playlist. There's a playlist for it. But basically, it talks about daily news, commentary videos. So I separated some of these things out, make videos out of them so that you don't have to rewatch the live stream fluff. But if you want to watch rewatch the live stream, you're more than welcome to. That's this, and you can always fast forward it to the content that you want. Maybe I'll start putting chapters on these in the future so that people can know exactly where to go for the specific content. But yeah. Oh, Tom. Oh, God. Tom says he did not watch the last episode yet. Dude, just prepare for blood. And there's going to be spoilers in my discussion today. So if you don't want to be spoiled, you might want to turn off the volume. If you don't mind being spoiled, look, the fact of the matter is you're sort of spoiled already. Because there is a lot of interviews out there where they talk about a brutal death that happens on the show. And when you see it, well, I'll talk about it later. It is, I would say it's probably the single goriest thing that Marvel and the MCU has ever done. Seriously. It is, yeah. Lots and lots and lots of blood in this episode. Punisher doesn't hold back. Kingpin doesn't hold back. Daredevil doesn't hold back, other than to stop himself from, offing somebody, because, as you know, that's Daredevil's rule, and he tried to break it once. Yes, if you haven't seen it yet, I would say that this particular scene is more gory than Daredevil. Now, more gory than Deadpool Wolverine. Now, if you watch Deadpool Wolverine, there's definitely blood on this level in this. But see, the thing about Deadpool and Wolverine is, to me, it's more fantasy, whereas this is street level. And because it's street level, well, I don't want to get into the whole discussion on it yet. Not quite yet, but we will get to it. How's the picture clarity, everyone? Are you guys seeing this okay? Are you hearing it okay? Let me know in the chat, because I've changed some things up. I do want to thank everybody for being here, for getting me out of bed. When I first wake up in the morning, I am so freaking tired. And I'm not kidding you. almost every day when I first wake up, I'm going, I don't know if I can do the show this morning. I don't know if I'm going to have to cancel. And I think about you guys, and I just think about, look, when I think about my audience, you guys watching out there, best audience on YouTube, so smart, so intelligent, such lively in the chat, great conversations and all of that. And I'm so grateful, right? I'm so grateful because as I have said it many times and will say many times again, just like the Transformers, the Autobots and Decepticons need their energon to get going. You guys are my energon. You're the energon that gets this guy to transform and roll out of bed in the morning to be here with you.
A toast, Autobots. Boy, these are good. I needed to refuel. Energy! Energy! This stuff's the greatest!
This stuff's the greatest. It is. It's so good. So just thank you guys so much for being here today and every day. I love it. It's awesome. And I appreciate every single one of you. Now I'm going to put something on the screen. You're going to see it. You're going to be familiar with it. Yes, this is Follow the Bradley's Fun Spread Shop. I have promised new items. I have not delivered yet. I need to get a bunch of designs going and done. And there's so much that I have to think of, especially with what's coming up in the future. But Braylon, does it look more clear than it has in the past? That's my question with this new webcam type thing that I'm using, because I'm actually the picture that you're seeing is coming from my smart device. So I'm just wanting it to be nice and clear. My webcam in my laptop, built into my laptop, is a little, so I'm just hoping that this is much more clear. Anyhow, here is the Follow the Bradley's Fun Spread Shop. We have this hat, Make Disney Walt Again. Of course, I'm sure you're familiar with that. By the way, right now, I think there's 3 days left on this. 2 days, only 2 days left on the sale. 2 days left, 20% off of everything in the spread shop right now. So we got Make Disney Walt Again. You've got the Fedora Finds. Those are my news commentary show, pop culture news, pop culture theme park news commentary. Fedora Finds. So I'm going to be adding so many more videos. The idea behind Fedora Finds, by the way, is that I can get a lot more stories out. And this is my favorite color backdrop for this and my family design. So I'll show you that one too, which I love because the colors just really pop on that dark gray. They pop on the black too. So there's the black one. And I got to add more styles too as well, but they really pop on this, and I love that. Anyhow, I don't know if yes, there it is. Go and Shogi, thank you for putting this up. Check out all the sharp merch in the Follow the Bradley's Fun store, and there's the link. You can type on that. I have another store with fitness products, but I'm trying to work on it. It's got my full name. By the way, this is not much of a reveal, but I'm not a Ronald. I'm a Byron. So, but I really want the store name to say Ronnie Bradley instead of Byron Bradley. This is what it says right now. But anyhow, looks, my mom has come into the chat. Hi, Mom. There she is. Kathleen Fantasia says, good morning. Anyhow, all this stuff is on sale, 20% off right now, and it can be yours. And you can advertise for me for free. Anyway, I gotta get more. I've got to get more designs and more indication that it's actually a YouTube channel, which I don't think I have on there anyhow. So yes, we've got to get that done and the other stuff. Yes, indeed. Then and here's where I'm going with this, of course. So if you make a purchase during the show, let me know, because I want to celebrate it. And also, I want to celebrate all of you just for being here And so we love to celebrate all of you. We celebrate everything. By the way, anytime you guys are very generous to me, and I appreciate that. Anytime there is a super chat, super thanks, super sticker. By the way, there's a goal of we only have a goal of one today. Just one super chat, please. Anyhow, anytime there's a super chat, super thanks, super sticker, anybody becomes a member of the channel, or memberships are gifted to the channel, or there's a membership milestone chat, or if you use the link in the pinned comment, PayPal, buy me coffee, any of those types of donations, then you'll have to let me know that in the chat. But any of those things, any of those gifts, they keep the channel going. They keep us on the air, and we appreciate it so much. Obviously, we're small. We're only a year in. Not a big mega network. And this is all me. My family. So I appreciate all of it. And because of that, we love to celebrate that and celebrate you. And a celebration, by the way, and when we're celebrating, okay, we want you to celebrate with us. So if you're a member of the channel, use your member emojis in the chat. If you're not a member of the channel, still celebrate with us. Put dance emojis, fireworks emojis, any of those types of things in the chat too. And what does the celebration look like? Well, if you're ready, get those emojis ready now, because we are going to show you exactly what that celebration looks like. And it might look like this. Yay! Okay, wait. There's more. There we go. All right. Yeah. So that's exactly right. My laptop cam probably hit 720 instead of 1080p, and so I'm using my phone as a webcam. But I was trying to use a different program for a webcam, and the one I'm using now seems to work. It's got like a, I don't know what you call those things, where it puts something on the screen to like tell you what the webcam is that I'm using right there. That's why I'm using a white shirt, because the white shirt kind of covers it up. Chee-hoo! Yes, Maui says chee-hoo. Anyhow, I'm excited for it. I don't know if, by the way, if you're in here, if you haven't liked the stream, please do like the stream. Hit the like button. If you're new, let us know in the chat. I see 26 people in here today, probably waiting for my review with bated breath. And yes, my review of Daredevil is coming. It's going to be an interesting thing, because I don't really have much to put on the screen during my review, because this is my review. I'm literally not referencing anybody else's review during this. I'm going to try and look something up real quick. Yes. What happens when I do this? And then I do this. Okay. Good to know. Good to know. I'm just checking some things out. I'm doing some things in the back. Yes. So in Dee do da. All right, guys, let's get going with the news of the day today. And by the way, this stream will in fact redirect to the Culture Casino after this. Culture Casino is live in Las Vegas today. Andy W., look at that, coming in hot, meeting the goal. Super chat, heading to the coast today. I am so happy. Andy, are you going to Cannon Beach, or are you what are the other beaches? Astoria. Yeah, let me know what beach you're going to. If that's the coast you're heading to. I love it there. It's so beautiful. Sam Spurgeon comes in and says, yeah, That is pretty funny. Anyway, we got to celebrate this. Andy W, who let's do oh, here we go. All right, Andy, I'm going to give you this one. This is not the normal celebration, but we're going to celebrate this bigger at the end of the stream. But we do have some news for you. And I have, for me, the Daredevil review is good news. I'm just going to tell you, I like the show. I loved the last episode. But I'll give you my thoughts on it. Didn't love it as much as past seasons of Daredevil, but I'll tell you about it when I get to it. But first, we have a different kind of news that we got to do too, and I'm going to use this as a celebration.
I have news.
What type of news is it?
Well, to be perfectly frank, it's bad.
Maybe if you tell me the bad news in a good way, it won't sound so bad.
The bad news in a good way. Yes, I can do that. Well, here goes. Wait till you hear this.
It's time for the bad news in a good way. Going to Seaside. Oh my gosh, Seaside is very close to Cannon Beach, isn't it? It's just a little bit north, right? If I remember correctly. I haven't been there in 30 years, literally, since 1995. It's one of the places that I visited one time, and I so want to go back. And it may not be a place I'm able to even get back to until we don't have to worry about having kids with us, because I think it's so romantic. It'd be a great place for Virginia and I to get away to. Yeah, it's north, right? Seaside. And then what's that park there right at the top of Cannon Beach where there's this beautiful green park and then it overlooks the beach? It's a cliff that overlooks the beach. I can't remember the name of the park, but man, I hope that area has mostly not changed because it is so gorgeous, so beautiful there. Anyway, let's get to the bad news in a good way. Marvel, the MCU, is not having the greatest year. They had great success last year with Deadpool and Wolverine, but they're not tracking so well this year. Captain America Brave New World isn't even at the point. I don't even know if it's halfway to the point where it could break even yet. So that's not doing so well. Fantastic Four, some of the actors have said some things that have really messed things up for them. I don't think that's going to do very well. And I'm personally not a huge fan of Pedro Pascal, especially in the role of Reed Richards. He's done some fun things, but that role is not him. And now we have the Thunderbolts coming out right now. And, well, it looks so far like more maybe not great news for Marvel. It's not tracking to do all that well. So we are going to get the story on the screen. This is, of course, out of thatparkplace.com. If you're not bookmarked, make sure you're bookmarking it. Thunderbolts now on track to perform worse than Captain America Brave New World in the latest box office projection. This one is by WDW Pro. WDW Pro, yes, indeed. April 15th, 2025. There they are, the Thunderbolts. Let's see if I can name them all in this picture. We've got the Red Guardian right up front with the new Black Widow, who is not Black Widow. Then we've got Ghost in the back. That's not Lou Wasserman's Ghost. She's just called Ghost. And then the little tip of the cap that you would think might be Captain America is not Captain America behind that. He is called the U.S. agent, I believe. All very much B-list Marvel, maybe C-list Marvel characters. I don't know. Marvel's next big film is on track to be the worst performing MCU since the Marvels. It could be the canary in the coal mine, truly. By all available metrics, Thunderbolts is shaping up to be a full-scale alarm bell for the Walt Disney Company. The anti-hero ensemble film, originally hyped as a gritty, edgy answer to Marvel fatigue, is now on track to become one of the lowest grossing movies in the history of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, possibly the lowest, depending on how ticket sales shake out in the coming weeks. And with 2 other MCU entries on the 2025 slate already wobbling, this could be the year the world's most successful cinematic franchise finally loses its grip on audiences. Although I would argue that its actual grip has probably already been loosened. But we're talking about maybe a final nail in the coffin. I don't know, but we shall see. But back to Pro's words. According to both Box Office Pro, Thunderbolts is tracking for a domestic opening weekend between $63 million and $85 million, with a target around $70 million. That would position it among the bottom 3 MCU opening weekends of all time, behind films like Shang-Chi and The Eternals, and not far above the franchise's historic low, The Marvels, which debuted at just $46 million last year before collapsing with a global gross under $210 million. I think that wasn't last year. I feel like that was 2 years ago. But I'm reading what's written. What's most concerning is that the Thunderbolts doesn't have the excuses that hampered other Marvel underperformers. It's not a brand new IP with unfamiliar characters. It's not releasing in the middle of a pandemic. It's not being quietly dumped off or facing off against dominant box office competition. If anything, this should be a safe swing, a cast of recognizable characters built from existing Disney Plus shows and phase 3 and 4 films arriving in a relatively open marketplace, and still interest is tepid at best. Pre-sales data tells a sobering story. Tickets are now available, and early indicators show lots of empty seats, even for Thursday previews and Friday primetime shows. The fan base isn't clamoring to be first in line. As Cosmic Book News notes, Thunderbolts will likely rely on word of mouth to turn things around. A risky bet for a franchise that has lost considerable trust with casual audiences and hardcore fans alike. The reliance on social media buzz mirrors the surprise success of the Minecraft movie, which turned around dismal pre-sale numbers with an explosion of TikTok-fueled enthusiasm. But the difference? Minecraft had novelty, Gen Z appeal, and a broader fan base untethered from a decade of lore. Thunderbolts, by contrast, feels like a patchwork of side characters stitched together after Marvel lost its A-list momentum. If Thunderbolts fails, it will mark the second straight MCU misfire of 2025, following Captain America Brave New World, which opened to a modest $88.8 million over President's Day weekend and has struggled to reach $200 million domestic after more than a month in theaters. I believe it's in its 10th week now. That film's inability to rally interest despite being built around a core Avenger role suggests the brand itself may be suffering from deep erosion. Please don't do that. Looking ahead, Disney's next hope is Fantastic Four. First steps in July, a so-called fresh start for the MCU, but that's a lot of pressure to place on a reboot of a twice failed franchise, especially when general audiences no longer consider the Marvel logo a guarantee of quality or excitement. There are more reasons to worry about why Fantastic Four could fail. There's another shot of the team in Marvel's Thunderbolts, this time with Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier, over in the back right. You got Bucky Barnes, Winter Soldier over in the back right. You got Red Guardian up front, U.S. Agent, and Ghost over there on the left. I did that the opposite of the way most people would, but that's okay. And Disney has invested tens of billions into the MCU, not just in film budgets, but in Disney Plus series, tie-in merchandise, and theme park integration. A failed MCU slate in 2025 would be more than just a financial underperformance. It would rattle investor confidence, damage the Disney Plus value proposition, and potentially force the company to make painful decisions about what once seemed like its most bulletproof IP. With Thunderbolts facing poor projections, Brave New Worlds floundering, and only Deadpool and Wolverine providing any hope for a mega hit, the pattern is clear. The MCU is losing cultural traction. And if Thunderbolts ends up as the worst performer in the Marvel Studios' modern history, Disney may be finally forced to acknowledge what fans have seen coming for years. The Marvel formula, at least the way it has been the last several years, is broken. And now no amount of cameos or callbacks will fix it. And it's true. Marvel, the MCU, it's not what it once was. Even with Daredevil Born Again being a pretty decent show on Disney Plus, there still wasn't a lot of interest in it, which is like crazy because 10 years ago, totally different story. But let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. What do you think of the MCU? Were you a fan? Are you a fan? Are you sticking with the Marvel Cinematic Universe to the bitter end or forever, how long it goes? Or are you already out like I am with Star Wars? Just let us know in your comments below. What are your thoughts? Let us know before you go out the door. And thank you so much for coming in. Let's see. Yes, it's X-Men 99. Oh no, black leather everywhere. Well, let's not do that again. All right, so can you quickly, before the story, do Gaston wishing me well? It's going to be after the story because I already did the story. Yeah, sometimes when I start, I have to go to the end because I'm going to cut these for my Fedora fines, and I just have to do it, you know. But Gaston wishing me a happy birthday. Jonathan, well. Happy birthday to you. It's a birthday to you, but it really should be all about me, not you, because I'm Gaston. I'm the greatest. As you see, I've got biceps to spare. Hello, Jonathan. Jonathan, it's about time you got your head out of that birthday cake and paid attention to more important things, like me. Happy birthday, pal. Happy birthday. Yeah. King of Kings, I might be talking about that on the show. We may be trying to go see that as a family on Saturday. So we'll see. I kind it's a big deal. I would like to go see it. Andy W, once again, thank you so much for the super, coming in hot with the super. I think because I know that you like this one, Andy, I'm giving you the celebration that you like. Sam Spurgeon coming in hot with the comment, I'm pretty sure Vanessa Kirby had called my grandma, who was a homemaker in the 60s, a doormat. She would have politely knocked her veneers down her throat. Yeah, I would say the same about not my grandma, but my mom, who was a homemaker in the 1960s, but also worked. My mom did everything. She worked outside the home. She was a homemaker. She raised kids. She did everything. And, yeah, she was on TV. She was on she was interviewed on the Sally Jesse Raphael show. She actually was noted in St. Louis as and it was funny. You don't know what's happening behind the scenes. All families have issues, but that's okay. But my mom did such a great job that she was noted in St. Louis as one of those women that had it all, which was the work life and family life and home and husband and children and all of it. And yeah, so Vanessa Kirby, Get out of here with that stuff. Get out of here. Yeah. I tell you what, you know what? If you're going in the rocket ship, just you can stay. How about that? That's so funny. Tell you what, Sam Spurgeon, MCU is riding the Star Wars train to apathy land for me. I understand. So with that line, and a full-time college student. Yes, that's right. You're a full-time college student. My mom was doing it all. She was finishing up college, homemaker, full-time job, all of it. It was a crazy life. I actually, what was I, 9 or 10 years old, 11? I don't remember what I was, but I actually went to college with my mom because since my mom was going to college in the summer, and I can't remember what year it was, fourth, fifth, sixth grade. I went to college with my mom. She went to Maryville University in St. Louis, and she took me with her with it was a course for gifted students that I was able to go to because I met whatever requirements it was back then. That was pretty cool. Like my mom would drive into the college, and then she would send me off to my class, and she would go to her class. And even though I was like 10 or 11, it was like we were going to college together. It was cool. It was very, very cool. We had a fun time with that back in the day. So very, very cool. Anyhow, let's get to the final story of the day. How many minutes do I have for this? I have plenty of time. So the show might be a little shorter today because I don't know how long this review is going to take, but I'm going to give you my thoughts, and I'm not going to go through episode by episode. I'm mainly going to be focusing on the last episode. But here we go. And also, please let me know down in the chat. Have you seen Daredevil Born Again? Have you watched any of the episodes? Have you watched all of the episodes? And I want to let you know before we start, there will be spoilers. Okay. So if you don't care and you want to hear the spoilers, that's fine. But there's going to be a couple of big ones in here. Yeah. All right, so Daredevil Born Again, season 1, it's done. It's over. All of the episodes have dropped, and this was one of the MCU's should have been most anticipated things coming out this year because there were a lot of fans of the original Daredevil series on Netflix, seasons 1, 2, and 3, and The Defenders. Kind of 4 seasons of Daredevil. So this is almost like the 5th season of Daredevil. Charlie Cox in the iconic role of Daredevil and Vincent D'Onofrio as the Kingpin. And both of those characters started out as a bit nerfed from where they had been with them. They threw Charlie Cox, Daredevil, into She-Hulk in just a humiliating way, and then Kingpin had been somewhat nerfed. Some of it from the comics, yes, shot in the eye and all that stuff. But Echo, what the heck happened to him there? So the question on a lot of people's minds is: was Disney going to do right now that it was fully in the hands of Disney? Would they do right by the characters of Daredevil and Kingpin? And I think they were bringing the Punisher into it. A lot of people had questions. Well, I can tell you my own personal opinion. I wasn't so sure when the season began, especially with what they did in episode 1. I really, really wasn't completely on board with that. But then as the season started plugging along, I understood where they were going because they basically they had nerfed the character, and I don't know if they had meant to before that, but the showrunner of this decided that the Born Again title, which has nothing to do with the Born Again comic, would be about a true rebirth of not just Daredevil, but also Kingpin as probably the MCU's worst and most violent villain in the most graphic ways. It's crazy. What they did with the show, just going to tell you, the last episode is brutal. So for a lot of people, this was it was always a slow burn with 13 episodes. This season only has eight episodes, or 9 episodes. I'm so sorry. This season has 9 episodes. And what they were doing with the season, I believe they originally planned on having an 18 episode season. And what they did was they cut season 1 in half to make season 1 and season 2. So you have Daredevil Born Again. The first 9 episodes are season 1. The second 9 episodes are season 2. And it really does end on an absolute cliffhanger. It ends with Daredevil having been born again. He's fully Daredevil again by the end of this, where he wasn't in the beginning. And Kingpin, the same thing. It really starts on an interesting beat and ends on an interesting beat. So just putting this on the screen, Daredevil Born Again. There it is. You can see the graphic. And basically this is all my opinion. Okay. So I want you to get from the fact that this is my opinion. And at the end, I will give the show an overall score. My score, my ideas about the score could change. But it's based, I have to give the score based on the other 3 seasons of Daredevil, along with the Defenders series, because Daredevil was very much a part of the Defenders series. Now, along the way here, I do want to invest in a few of your comments. So Going Shogi says he walked away after Falcon and Winter Soldier, which I can understand. I will say this: if you haven't watched Daredevil Born Again, if you've watched all of the other Daredevil series, you probably want to watch this if you're a fan of Charlie Cox as Daredevil. Now that it's all dropped, this show, I want to say, should have been dropped the entire season at once, because I think that this show is going to be better being binged. And I'm going to go back and binge watch it, not like watch the whole thing all the way through, but I'm going to put it on and watch it as quickly through as I can over the course of a week or a few days, because the slow burn effect for this show doesn't work as well, in my opinion. The show, when it was dropped on Netflix back in the day, it would drop all at once. If you remember, this was a bingeable show. It was when binge watching was a big thing in the 2015, 2016, 17, whenever the show was dropping. And people would literally like stay up overnight to watch the entire 13 episode season back then. And I understand why. It's because a lot of the episodes are very slow burn. This is much more like reading a comic book than watching a movie, because you're going further in depth into the characters. But it's good because these actors get more time with their characters to really develop what it is they wanted to do. So I'm going to go back to episode 1, and we're going to talk about that a little bit. So Sam Spurgeon, let's see, Jonathan Rubin says, I sadly didn't watch the original series, so I need to go back and watch before viewing the rest of this show. I am so far behind. Well, that's emblematic of one of the biggest problems in the MCU. If you were trying to keep up, you can't, because there's just too much content now. You can't watch everything. You're going to be like watching this in the middle of it and be like, who the heck is Ms. Marvel? You know? And Pam says she doesn't watch any of the superhero and Marvel stuff. That's okay, because it's not for everyone. And especially this, if you don't like, if you can't take gore and some very, very serious stuff as far as the way they end characters, that's you won't be able to take it. This definitely worse than Deadpool and Wolverine, and we'll talk about that in just a moment. The Netflix series was good. From what I understand, the Disney take is nothing like it. It's very much like it, Sam. I don't know who out there is saying that it's not like the Netflix take. It is. I think it does. it's I will say this, the last episode is grittier than anything you ever saw on Netflix, more violent than anything you ever saw on Netflix. I wouldn't start with the last episode. I think what the reason you're hearing that, Sam, and good morning, JD. Pretty appreciate you coming in. We are reviewing Daredevil Born Again with spoilers. All right, so you've had your warning. Where was that comment? Kaladin 910 also says, I have seen the first 2 seasons, but the Disney season, no. Yeah, so they are all on Disney Plus. If you don't have Disney Plus, there you go. But and that's the thing. I don't think the interest is enough to get people to subscribe to Disney Plus. And that's a big problem for the MCU. But this very much, what this feels like to me is that they skipped season 4 and went directly to season 5 of Daredevil because it picks up so much. Like there's so many things. The writing isn't as good. It's a fair comment. It's a fair comment. It's a very different story. It's a very different Daredevil story. It takes a very different turn because both of these. What I want to say basically in episode 1. Let's start with episode 1 of the season. Daredevil and Kingpin have both been very nerfed at this point by Marvel. They used them in I think Spider-Man No Way Home. Matt Murdock was in that as an attorney, and at that point in time, and this is what you don't see. You see in episode 1, Matt, Foggy, Karen, the characters that we left off at the very end of Daredevil season 3. A spoiler for season 3. There's a napkin. They write on the napkin, and it is Nelson, Murdoch, and Page. Right? So it is basically that they're all going to become attorneys. So by the time this show picks up, Karen Page has clearly gotten her law degree. I mean, she is one of the partners at Nelson, Murdoch, and Page. They're walking out of their office in Hell's Kitchen, and they all are going to celebrate. They go to Josie's bar. It really picks up emotionally from a place where season 3 Daredevil left off, as far as those 3 characters are concerned. Big spoiler coming. I don't know if she's an attorney or a legal aid, but my guess is that she actually became an attorney because she's a partner in the business. And I think to be a business partner in a law firm, you have to be an attorney. I could be wrong. I don't know. I don't know the rules on that, but it says Nelson, Murdoch, and Page, and it seemed like she was going that direction anyway. But this picks up so much later because I think it picks up 7 years after the last season of Daredevil. So this picks up after the blip and everything else. And I believe this is supposed to be like picking up in the year 2026 or 2027 or something like that. Like it's just a couple years out of sync with where we actually are in real times. But the blip has happened and all of that stuff. They don't really talk about it, but they're part of the MCU now, so all that has clearly happened. I find it interesting, but it does feel like you missed an episode, like you missed a season. Like it feels like they should have had. It feels like there was a whole season of stuff that happened that you didn't see, and because when they pick up with Bullseye, you're like, how is Bullseye just out? And they explain it later, but anyway, the people that they ended the final season of the Netflix series with are all in the very beginning of this. Foggy, Karen, Matt, Kingpin, Vincent D'Onofrio's Wilson Fisk, his wife, I'll call her Mrs. Kingpin, Vanessa, and Bullseye. They're all in this very first episode. It comes so and they come out of the door swinging, right? So Bullseye's there. Daredevil has to get into action. He's in the suit. And in the very first episode, some major things happen. Big old spoiler right here. So, you pause or turn it off if you don't want to hear it. But the Bullseye shoots Foggy. Bullseye shoots Foggy, takes him out, and Bullseye and Daredevil and Bullseye are fighting on a rooftop afterwards so that Daredevil can try and save other people from Bullseye. And he's listening to Foggy's heartbeat as it fades and stops. And when he hears Foggy's heartbeat stops, he has beaten Bullseye and he throws him off a roof to his demise, which his demise ends up, spoiler alert, not offing him. Bullseye continues to live, goes to trial a year later, and he's convicted, and many life sentences. And at that point in time, Matt is nerfed. Now, the same point in time, Kingpin is running for mayor, and Kingpin wins and becomes mayor of New York City. Now, I think this is all mirrored. This is mirrored from the comics. I think that there's some point in time where Kingpin had become mayor of New York City in the comics. I don't know exactly. I don't follow the comics anymore because comics aren't that great. But the fact of the matter is, starts out, Matt and Wilson Fisk have a confrontation in a cafe, and they let each other know where they stand. Fisk is becoming mayor, and he says, "Hey, I put all those Kingpin things behind me." Matt is a lawyer, and he says, "I put all the Daredevil stuff behind me." And that's where they leave it. But it then devolves. So that's what happens. This is why it's called Born Again, because both of those characters start off having put their dark sides behind them, supposedly. However, throughout the season, their dark sides slowly emerge back to where Daredevil is fully Daredevil again. There's other people in this. There's the White Tiger. There's Muse. I'm not going to get into the spoilers with what all happens with them. Daredevil gets a new girlfriend. She's a psychologist, whatever. I don't want to get into all of that. Watch the show for that stuff, but I do want to get into the last episode. When the last episode occurs, Punisher's fully back in it as Punisher. Got the memento mori on it, the skull and crossbones. But yeah, so this is it. So this is the last episode, and I'm watching it last night, and there was this. It was promised by the showrunners, and it was on social media and everything, that there would be a death that happens in this that is more brutal than anything that's happened in the MCU. And I was really wondering how that was going to happen. And let me tell you, there was a thing that happened with the Punisher. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and spoil something. Punisher is doing his thing. He's doing what he's doing, and he tells Matt. There's a confrontation at the end where he tells Matt as Daredevil. He says, "Look, you go be your Daredevil, and I'm going to help you get out of this situation, but I'm going to do it my way, and you know what that means." He goes, "Yeah, and I don't like it, but at this point in time, Daredevil's already accepted that the Punisher does what the Punisher does, which is he offs. He leaves no stone unturned, if you know what I mean. Punisher does what Punisher does. And wow, what Punisher did to one guy, I thought that was it. I thought that, oh my gosh, that must be the thing that they were talking about. That is the most brutal thing that we've ever seen. The Punisher doing his thing, thought was surrounded, right? And there is this one brutal situation where the Punisher rips into a guy with a knife, pulls out, and the guy's entrails just go everywhere. And you're like, oh my gosh, that was brutal. That was, in fact, very, very brutal. Oh my heck. That wasn't it. That was not. I gotta be careful about the way I talk about this next thing on this channel, because we're trying to keep it family friendly. it's let me put it this way. You might want the kids to leave the room if you're watching this with kids around on this one. Because wow. Uh, uh, I'm trying to wrap my head around how I'm going to share this. So there's the Daredevil and Punisher. This is clearly from the last episode, but this was a set photo. But there they are together, right? So they are together. They are on the screen. They're working together. I mean, it's what Bernthal is doing with the characters as good as Bernthal has ever been in the character. I will tell you one thing, they don't look like they've aged and they haven't missed a beat as far as their characterizations and their acting and all of that. Fantastic job, these guys, for sure. I want to see if I can get a different picture on the screen. All right, so I'm going to switch this over so you can see the Kingpin. All right, so there he is. Vincent D'Onofrio is the Kingpin, right? That smile, that smirk, the way he does his character. And if you just started watching, I don't know if you just came in, Native Hawaiian, I'm about to release a big old spoiler as part of my review. Guys, let me tell you, this is where it gets brutal. They show Kingpin doing something. Do you guys remember, if you watched the first episode? Yeah, no one punishes Pam Ebsen. That's right, Pam. If you guys remember the first episode of the Daredevil series, and Kingpin shows he shows who he is in a situation where one of his own people he takes, and he crushes his head in a car door by slamming it over and over and over again. But the thing is, the way they show that in the Netflix series is a way that you know that it's happening. You see it from a certain angle, but it's not, the gory part of it is not shown. And I think you see you'll see like his head roll off or something. I believe, yeah. I think you see his head roll off. It's pretty well done, pretty well shot, very dark, and you see it happening, right? So, but then I'm telling you, what they show, what he does in the 9th episode of Daredevil Born Again, what Kingpin does to a guy. He takes him from behind by the head like this, and he starts to squeeze. His hands are actually upside down because he's like this. The scene takes its time to show you this. The Kingpin has strength. And this is basically where they show you the Kingpin's raw physical strength and what he chooses to do with that strength by taking this guy's head and pushing on the head, and they take his time. Kingpin takes his time doing it, and he's not doing it in private. He's doing it in front of a group of about 15 people to show them what he can do, and to show those people what he's willing to do to anyone that goes against him. And he's already the mayor of the city at this point in time. And he keeps squeezing and squeezing and squeezing and squeezing until the inevitable happens, and they show every single bit of it. And that's the way that I'm going to say this on this channel. and it is every bit as gory as the way it would sound. If I'm not gonna get into the detail because I think that you can use your imagination. Let me just say that it was. Let's put it this way: the Kingpin crushed it. Yes, the Kingpin crushed it. What was it? It was that thing that he had in his hands. Okay, it was a jaw-dropping moment. I mean that in the most literal sense. I'm not saying my jaw dropped. I'm not saying the people who are watching him's jaw dropped. If you get what I mean, it was nuts. It was absolutely. I was so surprised that Disney would allow something like that to be shown. But every bit as gory, every bit as gritty. Yeah. Bernthal is good at playing the overall type portion of Frank's personality, but the key to Punisher isn't his anger. It's always been his quiet movements to achieve vengeance. Yeah. I love Bernthal's portrayal. But we've also gotten to see him the most. Jane nailed it. And those are older, older portrayals. Bernthal, when he was first hired, what I wasn't sure about it because of his size. He just didn't seem like he had the stature. But also, I think that makes him a more brutal Punisher in a way because what he's able to do with the stature that he has is crazy. Still, maybe you guys don't like me for it, but Bernthal is still my favorite version of the Punisher. But that's just because I love the way he portrays the character. And I wasn't a huge fan of his in Walking Dead, so it really surprised me. Both of these characters, as a matter of fact, Charlie Cox as Daredevil just knocks it out of the park, and Karen's back throughout this entire episode. So the last episode feels much, much, much more like seasons 1, 2, and 3 of Daredevil on Netflix. It feels very much more like it, more brutal, but it's got all the characters back in it. And Karen, we love. And apparently they're somehow bringing Foggy back next season. I don't know if that's in memory or what, but he's definitely the actors in the season. So I don't know what they're going to do. Hey, Kay, good to see you. We are doing a review of the Daredevil Born Again series, the entire thing. And I'm telling you, man, it was, it was what it was. Anyway, that's my review. Final score for me, I give the season a 7 out of 10. I give the last episode a 9 out of 10. It was a little over the top, brutal for me, visually gory. Not a 10 out of 10. Season one for me is the only Daredevil season that gets a 10 out of 10. I would put the overall season on par with the Defenders as far as storytelling, writing. I think that seasons 1, 2, and 3 of Daredevil are better than the Defenders. I think seasons 1, 2, and 3 are better than this season, but I really like where it ended and where the season can go, because I believe season 2 of Born Again can really get back to the Daredevil that we know and love, and the Kingpin that we love to hate. And I think it'll be a lot of fun. So the problem is, I don't think it's going to bring the MCU back at all, but it is definitely up there with the highest, best seasons of Marvel television. As far as Disney Plus is concerned, it probably is the best Marvel MCU series on Disney Plus. And I really liked WandaVision. It was crazy. It was different, but overall, the writing and everything was just better on Daredevil Born Again. So that's my review. What are your thoughts? Sound off in the comments below before you head out the door. Have you seen it? Are you going to watch it? If you are watching it, what are your thoughts? Let us know in the comments below before you head out the door. Thank you for watching today. Thank you guys so much for coming in. We got to get you over to Culture. He's about to start, or maybe already has started. He might have started early because he's in Vegas. As a matter of fact, we want to celebrate this before we go, and I think we should do that with Culture himself, dancing away in Vegas. Thank you so much for that. Yeah, Sam, I agree. Crossbones was completely a wasted character in the MCU. Could have been used much, much, much better. And I loved the Winter Soldier. And so I really wanted Crossbones to have much more of a role than he had in Civil War, but is what it is. Anyway, thank you guys so much for coming in today. I appreciate you being here. Tomorrow, if I can do it, if I'm allowed to do it, this show will be live on location in Epic Universe. Yes, indeed. So please tune in tomorrow for that. And we'll see you then. Yes, indeed. Yeah. So again, for all of those of you going over to Culture Casino, say hi for him. Say hi for me to him on his show, and I will see you tomorrow. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow live from Epic Universe, as long as it's within the rules and what I can do there, because I definitely want to be able to. I don't want to be able to not attend the park ever. That would be horrible. I definitely want to be able to go and continue to go and say great things about it if it's great, but I'll be honest about it too, and we will let you know. And until then, we'll see you real soon. Bye, everybody. Ciao. Thanks for coming in. Bye. Ciao.